Hi, Shalom. His brother Zakaria from the Israelite Times Report, IsraeliteTimes.com. All praises are definitely due to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Peace and blessings to all the brothers spread across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth. This is news and prophecy. Uh, this is coming from PJ Media. This is a good one. It says, World Government Summit panelist says shock needed for transformation of international order. These devils These devils want something big to happen so they can have a transformation into an international, aka New World Order. Says according to a panelist at the World Government Summit. Look at how proud these devils are. And Ishmael, these Arabs up in there too. Says according to a panelist at the World Government Summit in the United Arab Emirates. It says this week the international order needs some reorganizing. Excuse me. It says, and not in a gradual way. So, in other words, what they're saying is they're tired of playing around. They want their new world order now. It says, but with a shock. It said not in a gradual way, but with a shock. Says his fellow panelists agreed that global institutions, which of course have little to no accountability to the citizens of specific countries, need more power to stop crises. Right? As if they don't have enough power, right? But they're making the excuse or making the claim that they need more power to stop crises from happening. And this is what they do. Order out of chaos, problem, reaction, solution. They create a problem so they can come through with their solution. And it's always done by deceit. It says the unanswered question is just what sort of shock do these globalists have in mind? And again, I go back to this all the time. Esau is exposing Esau. Okay? These Edomites are posting and publishing articles and videos and audio recordings of their own government and other officials around the world, exposing them and exposing their true plans while they lie to the people. It says 3 experts spoke during the February the 13th panel. Says key predictions for changing world order, and that was a quote. The World Government Summit website describes the panel a world transformed by climate shocks. That's a question mark. A multipolar economic future, question mark. A democratic renaissance, question mark. In the history of global events, pandemics and wars have both been proven turning points in history. So they're using what they've learned from the past to bring about a new world order in the future, or at least that's what they think, right? That's what they believe. It says, so what lies ahead? During the session, we invite leading Professor Arturo Briss, director, to build on their strategic foresight and envision the state of the future world order. They see these devils. These devils are something else, man. They just know they're gonna have their new world order. It says, and he made a somewhat vague but shocking comment during the panel. Somebody posted a tweet. It's coming from the Twitter handle Young Americans for Liberty. It says World Government Summit panel agrees there must be a one shock that leads to a new world order. And then this person wrote on Twitter, to me, the big question is how are we going to go through this transformation? It says it cannot be gradual. It has to be by a certain shock that will happen. So what they're planning on doing is speeding things up. It's just like Trump when he had his Operation Warp Speed, right? Trump had Operation Warp Speed to hurry the jabs out, to get the shots out. And then they hurried up and mandated it, right? So now they're moving on to the next phase, which we believe is, I believe at least, they're going to try some kind of staged event, some kind of false flag, and that might be the event that gives them the leeway or the opportunity to bring out the charagma, the microchip, the MOTB, mark of the beast. All right. Let me see here. You come down. I want to jump down a little bit. It says here, so what needs to happen according to Briss? It says, but to me, the big question is how, okay, I read that part already. It says here, okay, here we go. It says, quote, no, see, if your question is that this period could be turbulent, could have violence, could have conflicts, we are already living it. Saran exclaimed excitedly. All right, so they're excited about this thing because they rolling out their options on the table. They're saying, look, it could be a pandemic, it could be violence, it could be climate, it could be the weather. We have a number of different ways that we can go about this. There's a different number of different ways we can bring about our international order, which is AKA the New World Order, right? And they're giddy. They're real giddy, man. They're all, they can't wait. Even their little hats and their little minions that they have underneath them, they're giddy and happy too, because they think they're really gonna bring this thing about. They don't know as soon as they push that chip, the Lord is gonna be on their ass, right? Because He's gonna shorten those days for His elect's sake. And that's what He promised, and that's what I believe. I have no choice but to believe it now. We're in the thick of this thing. you know, hey, the shit's about to go down, man. It's gonna hit the fan. Got no choice but to believe now. It says here, I think that the last 5 or 6 years, it says, I think that the last 5 or 6 years that we are going through a rather turbulent phase. He put all the blame on the CV-19. He put it on the Rona. Says here in the quote, we have lost a large part of humankind to the pandemic because we were all selfish. Oh wow. These demons, man. Listen to how proud this devil is. When they know that they cooked that thing up, man. They cooked that up and the jab. It says here, we were all selfish. So he's blaming everyone for the disease, right? It says we were not willing to share. We were not willing to use the global institutions to deliver responses to different parts of the world. We have lost people, Saran said. Says, now how much more bloodshed do we need to understand that the transition is upon us? So in other words, see what they're doing right here, this is how deceitful this devil is. He's basically saying, it's like twofold. He's saying that we're selfish and that something big has to happen, while at the same time making it sound as if he don't want it to happen. But really what he's doing is he's signaling to other people that are in the circle, that small circle that they're in, that hey, this is our option. And the option that he used, that he highlighted here, is bloodshed. Right? This is what he said. How much more bloodshed do we need to understand that the transition is upon us? So, in other words, this is a threat. Okay, this is a threat to everyone that opposes the New World Order. It's asking the question, how much more bloodshed? Like, in other words, if you don't get down with our order, if you don't get down with our system, this is what it's going to lead to, more bloodshed. So you got to read between the lines to understand what this devil is saying. And I got that. I have to get this, man. I have to get this. This is Jeremiah 14th chapter, 13th verse. Then said I, Lord power, behold, the prophets saying to them, ye shall not see the sword, neither shall ye have famine, but I will give you a short peace in this place. Because you have these false prophets that are telling the flock there won't be no Jacob's trouble. You have these false prophets that are prophesying lies. Here this devil is literally telling you every day that he's going to bring about a new world order and he's going to collapse society in order to achieve it. He's going to collapse the financial institutions, the educational institutions. He's going to just bankrupt the whole world in order to bring this about. And what is that going to bring about? That's going to bring about famine, more crime. People are already turned up and going crazy. And then you have these demons telling you there's going to be more bloodshed. What do they mean by that? And how are they going to bring that about? But yet you got these false prophets telling the people that everything's going to be all right. No, the hell everything ain't going to be all right. We're warning you, man. We're getting the blood off of our hands. We're warning you. Then said I, Lord power. It says, behold, the prophets say unto them, ye shall not see the sword, neither shall ye have famine, but I will give you a short peace in this place. And that's a lie. Anybody in these last days, any so-called teacher that's teaching you peace and safety, woe unto them. Because they're not warning you. They're not telling you the truth. They're not preparing your mind. You got to strip yourself of this world, man. You got to strip yourself of this world. You say, oh, well, you say the same thing every time. You damn right, man. I got to remind you, man. I got to remind my damn self, you know? This isn't a joke. This thing could pop off at any moment. It says, 14th verse, it says, then the Lord said unto me, the prophets that prophesy lies in my name, I sent them not. All right, just because you see some nigga up there with a fancy damn garment on, with the flyest fringes, and you know, they're doing a two-step marching around, don't mean that that's a man of the Lord. Don't be deceived, man. The Lord said the deceived and the deceiver are his. So if you're deceived according to the will of the Lord. Because you can't say that we didn't warn you, man. Can't say the true man of the Lord didn't tell you. Stop bullshitting. Stop playing around. This isn't a joke. This Israelite thing isn't about making a Israelite hip hop rap group. You know what I mean? That's not what this about, man. We're coming into some very serious times, man. And we've been saying it for a long time. And what's happened is people have gotten complacent, you know. Like I say all the time, that what is it? Psalms 49:11. The inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. They really believe it, man. And Esau isn't the only one that believe it. Jake believes it too. You tell an average nigga that the Edomites are going to be destroyed, their kingdom is about to be destroyed. They don't want to hear it, man. They can't believe it. They can't fathom it. The Lord said unto me, the prophets, that it says the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not. Neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision, and divination, and a thing of naught, and the deceit of their heart. The Lord didn't send these people out here to preach to you peace and safety. You know, he didn't send them out to preach that in these last days, man. When the mark of the beast is right around the corner. He didn't send them for that. A lot of you niggas are in the wrong spirit, man. And you better pray that you're one of those men that'll wake up at the last moment. Because there's going to be those, man. There's something that's going to make it in, last hour. Lord pour his spirit out and boom, all of a sudden it click and it happens. It happened to me. So I know it can happen to someone else. But a lot of you niggas, man, a lot of you wicked 2/3 niggas, you niggas gonna get caught up in a storm. All right. See, our thing is to strip this world from us. Get the world out of our heart. That way, we're not even when this place burns, we're not mourning and we're not missing it. We're not weeping and crying for Babylon. We're not gonna be like Lot's wife looking back. It says here, 15th verse, it says, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that prophesy in my name, and I sent them not. Yet they say, sword and famine shall not be in this land." Anybody that's telling you that is a liar. They are a liar. And they're only in it for the money. They're preaching to you smooth things, because there's going to be sword and famine coming to this place around the world, actually. Because World War III is being drummed up right now as we speak. Okay. And it's gonna get popping over there in the Middle East pretty soon. It says, by sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed. So the very thing that these false prophets are saying are not gonna happen, not only are those things gonna happen, but they're gonna get consumed by those swords. All right. It says, "And the people to whom they prophesy shall be cast out in the streets of Jerusalem because of the famine and the sword, and they shall have none to bury them." Yeah, there's going to be people laid out in the street, And we getting ready to get to that place. We getting ready to get to that place. It says, "There should be none to bury them, their wives, nor their sons, nor their daughters, for I will pour their wickedness upon them." That's a heavy warning for all you wicked as false prophets, man. That's a heavy warning. But I bet you don't go over that scripture. They skip and tap toe right around that, and they just pump their fists and say, "Kwam Yashala, Kwam Yashala." You don't take into consideration, man, that you misleading the Lord's people. You leading the people astray. I wouldn't want to be you, man. Hell, I'm asking every day for the Lord to forgive me of my damn sins, my wickedness, man, my bullshit, because I'm still in this flesh, you know. But I'm not gonna purposely mislead people. I'm not gonna. That's not no, no, no. There's no character in that. There's no honor There's no honor in that. You know. Plus, the Lord is watching, and the Lord know what you're doing. The Lord know that you're removing scriptures. You're not supposed to add nor take away from the word. Okay. It says in the 17th verse, "Therefore thou shalt say this word unto them, let mine eyes run down with tears night and day, and let them not cease. For the virgin daughter of my people is broken with a great breach, with a grievous blow. I go forth into the field, and then behold the slain with the sword. And if I enter into the city, then behold them that are sick with famine, yea, both the prophet and the priest go about into a land that they know not. And it's gonna be a heavy, heavy price to pay, you know, for a lot of these false teachers, false prophets that had men in their congregation and they mistaught them and they purposely lied to them because a lot of these people, I'm not falling for the they don't know no better bullshit. No, you know better. And you know what the mark of the beast is. Okay? You know. There's no way in hell in 2023 you don't know what the MOTB is. There's no way in hell. It's all over the place, man. There's no more excuse. That could have worked in 2010, 2014, maybe. Give or take. I'll give you pre 2020. But there's no way in hell. 2020 should have been a wake up call, even for the dead asleep, especially 2021 with the mandates. We got to see a lesser version of what the MOTB rollout is going to be like. There's no excuse. Ain't no need in trying to switch the scriptures up to say, oh, well, okay, there's going to be a microchip, but it ain't the MOTB. You lying. You know you're lying. And I'm going to tell you something else. People in your congregation know you lying too, and they're just going along with it for the meantime. Wait until they actually roll that thing out. Wait until they set it up and they install it. And you cannot buy or sell without it. You be lucky if you don't get people in your own congregation that don't come looking for you, you know? Because there's going to be some pissed off jakes out here, especially amongst Israel. They might come looking for you. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know personally, but I'm just saying. So when I read that article about this international world order that they're talking about setting up, this new world order, they're making mention of bloodshed. They're not saying they want to come about it smoothly or peacefully. What they're basically saying is they're saying that the pandemic was supposed to set up. Let me translate this for you, what they're really saying. The pandemic was supposed to have set up the New World Order, but it didn't do it. So what they're saying is, okay, since the virus didn't get the job done, we're going to come with something even more tyrannical, something way worse. Now there's going to be bloodshed in order to bring it about. Because Esau thinks that he's going to start World War III, and after the aftermath, the aftermath of World War III is going to be a one world government or a new world order, out of order chaos. Excuse me, out of chaos order. That's what they believe, right? Well, technically speaking, it is out of order chaos because they flipped order upside down and turned it into chaos. Even though I misspoke, right? That's what Esau believes, man. That's what these ruling elites, they actually believe that. They actually believe that. And this guy, Zbigniew Brzezinski, said in his book, I believe it was The Grand Chessboard, if I'm not mistaken, he was saying America's going to be the first and last true superpower and that it would collapse into a new world order. These devils have been saying this for years, but yet we're still being called conspiracy theorists. We're still being called crazy. Everything under the sun. Your time for mocking and poking fun at the men of the Lord, that time is coming up, man. It's about to be over with. You're going to have some explaining to do. All of you false prophets, you wicked niggas, you're going to have some explaining to do. Because people will start asking questions. People will start asking questions. At some point, they're going to be asking questions. All right, Shalom Akim. His brother Zakaria from the Israelite Times Report, IsraeliteTimes.com. All praises are definitely due to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings to all the brothers spread across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth and sincerity. We are definitely at the end of this thing, and Esau's rulership is just about over. And saw this article um, curated by Yahoo, coming from the Associated Press. Says a study shows striking number who believe news misinforms. All right, this is coming from the AP, the Associated Press, mainstream publication. Says a study shows a striking number of people believe the news misinforms. So what does that mean? That means that you got a certain amount of people, a significant amount of people that no longer believe in the news. They believe that the news is fake, it's phony, misleading, misguided. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you about Esau and the position that he's in? Right? Because one of his main weapons, matter of fact, you can argue that his weapon of choice is deception. So what happens when he can no longer deceive? It's a sign that he's losing his grip. And that's through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, because the Lord is the one that's making these things happen, right? It's the Lord that's making Esau slip on a banana peel and crack his head wide open. It's the Lord that's doing it. He can't get himself together, man. He cannot get himself together. I'm gonna read this article right quick. It says from the New York AP, says half of Americans in a recent survey indicated they believe national news organizations intend to mislead, misinform, or persuade the public to adopt a particular point of view through their reporting. Says the survey released on Wednesday by Gallup and the Knight Foundation goes beyond others that have shown a low level of trust in the media to the startling point where many believers, where many believe there is an intent to deceive. So it's not just that the public no longer trusts Esau's media, but it's the fact that they actually believe that they're intentionally misleading the people. Not that they're, accidentally doing it or they're getting some bad information, some bad news scoops. No, the public now believes that the media is intentionally doing it. And you know what's happening? Um, the pandemic, the lies that they told, with the social distancing and the mask and people, feeling deceived, man. They feel like they've been deceived, and rightfully so. And also, what's another one? The what do you call it? The jab. That's another one. How many times have they flip flopped on that? Censoring people, taking people's channels down, asking questions. People have loved ones that got injured after the fact, and they're still sitting there, um, telling people that it's effective. People are sitting there listening to this, going, "Hey, man, you told me I take this, I won't get the disease anymore, but I still got it." So people are upset, man. A lot of people are upset, and I know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai that this is all according to His will. You know, this is all according to the will of the Lord. Let me get Obadiah says, "How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?" All right, because Esau is being manipulated by the Lord, man. He's being manipulated by the Lord. Let me get back to this article right quick. It says, asked whether they agreed, and this is talking about the people, asked whether they agreed with the statement that national news organizations do not intend to mislead. 50% said they disagreed. It says only 25% agreed, the study found. It says 52% disagreed with a statement that disseminators of national news care about the best interests of their readers. Oh, excuse me. It says 52% disagreed with the statement that um, disseminators of national news care about the best interests of their readers, viewers, or listeners. The study found only 23% of respondents believed the journalists were acting in the public's best interest. Esau, you're through. Esau, you're through. You're done. You're done. Okay? Because I can guarantee you, most of the people that were surveyed were probably Edomites. So your own people don't trust you anymore. I know I got the scripture last week. I remember getting it, but I'm gonna get it again. Because it's necessary. That people understand what time we're in. Jeremiah 49:10 says, "But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself." So you got people that are doing searches, man. The news media will say they'll say one thing, and then you'll get people that go and research, mostly Edomites, they'll go and research and bring out the truth of the matter. They can't lie about anything. Everyone has a cell phone with cameras on it. Esau tell a blatant lie, and somebody will post up within 24 hours, sometimes shorter than that, shorter time than that. They'll post up something to show what really happened. You got whistleblowers, people within these agencies, these three-letter agencies that are coming out and telling the truth about what Esau is doing. They're trying to set up their new world order with their climate change, and they're trying to bring about the carbon footprint and all this crap. And you got whistleblowers telling people, look, it ain't about the climate, it's about control, right? It's about setting up a one world government. So Esau, you're through, man. You're done. I've made Esau bare. I've uncovered his secret places. Right, his secret places, man. His Council on Foreign Relations, his Trilateral Commission. What's the other one? Your Bilderberg groups, your your Davos and your World Economic Forum. Even though those are public and everyone can see them. By the way, the leader of Turkey, he defied Klaus Schwab, from what I hear, and he's no longer dealing with these people, man. He got up and left when they introduced Klaus Schwab at the World Economic Forum. He got up and left. Everyone's tired of you, man. These other nations are tired of you. That's why it says, when the righteous are in authority, people rejoice, but when the wicked, roughly paraphrasing, are in rulership, the people mourn, right? The people are mourning. The people are tired of you. The people are tired of your sanctions, your tariffs. People are tired. People are sick of you. The air is sick of you. The grass is sick of you. The animals are sick of you. Everything in this earth is sick of you and trying to get rid of you. You know, if the trees could speak, they'd be hastening the day of the Lord, man. You know, you don't do anything in righteousness at all, at all. Um, but yeah, man, this is people don't understand how big this is that Americans don't believe in this mainstream media and how important that is because that's one of Esau's number one, if not his main weapon of choice, is deception. Everything he's done it by deceit. The way he got this land from the Native Americans is through deceit. That's what he's always done. He'll build up a straw man argument with you when you're in court to get you convicted. Deceit, 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 deceit. That's Esau's number one weapon of choice. And the fact that um, no one believes in you anymore, not even your own people. I'm talking about the people that are on the bottom because they're just now waking up to the fact that they have no power either and that the ruling elite don't give a damn about them either. Because it used to be back in the day, they said, well, I might be poor, but at least I'm not a nigger. But now they're moving into a space when they realize that, no, you are the nigger. Yeah, they don't care about you. Because when the lockdowns happened, guess what? They broke the backs of many Edomite mom and pop shops, their stores, their farms, everything, man. Ruined a lot of them small business, them Edomite small businesses. So even the people on the low level that are of your nation are sick of these ruling elites, man. You know, you're over, you're through. There's another piece. I was getting ready to move on, but there's a piece right here that I want to get. It says in a finding reflected in the financial struggles of some news organizations and declining ratings of television news networks, the survey found 32% of Americans said they pay a great deal of attention to the local news compared to 56% in 2020. So I guess, that's a big significant drop, man. It says that was, excuse me, that was at the outset of the presidential election year in the beginning of the CV-19 outbreak. Um, so, anyways, then it goes on to tell you that people get their news from other places and other sources because they don't trust the mainstream media, which means they don't trust their government, which means that they don't trust the current nation that is in rulership, which is biblically speaking of Esau, right? Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of that which followed. Let me get a few scriptures here just to remind you of what judgment looks like. Because some of these guys they're in that peace and safety spirit, that mindset of peace and safety. They think they're gonna build generational wealth. You niggas out of your damn mind. Um, Isaiah 66:15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree, in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination, and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord. For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. All right. I want to get the 16th verse again. It says, for by fire and by sword. And he prophesied, about the prophets that are telling the people there won't be sword and famine in the land. These false prophets that the Lord did not send. But the 16th verse of Isaiah 66 chapter says, "For by fire and by sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many." That doesn't sound like peace and safety, right? You know, that's not what that sounds like to me, you know? So I don't know where the hell y'all get all of this. You ain't gonna go through no trouble. Everything's gonna be all right. Oh, you're just exaggerating. What do they call us? Eccentrics, extremists, conspiracy extremists. We teach an extreme doctrine. Fearmongers. That's what they call us. That's what I was looking for. Fearmongers. Trust me, I went through it. Family, friends. That's why I don't talk to those people no more. They say, "Hey, they call me. How you doing?" I'm like, "Whatever, man." I don't feel like hearing your bullshit. And that's not that I'm being mean. It's just, I talk to them, say what's up. They talk about whatever bullshit they talking about that I'm not interested in. Football games and all this stupid shit. When I already know that that's all bullshit and the NFL is rigged, the NBA is rigged. It's all satanic. You got satanic halftime shows and all of that. I don't give a shit about none of this stuff, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just want to get the fuck up out of here. Excuse my language. I don't give a shit about any of this at all. The hell with this damn world. And look, I'm just being real. I'm being real. And I know we gotta use the world and not abuse the world. But I'm tired of looking at this goddamn place. And I know I say this all the time. I'm sick of looking at this goddamn place. Sick of looking at these damn niggas. Jake is gone. Tired of seeing Jake looking like a goddamn monkey. Walking around with these little skinny boy pants. Shit hanging off their ass. Hair all fucked up. Looking feminine. Emotional. Like a fucking woman. I'm sick of this shit, man. Jake be talking out of his ass thinking that he's saying something deep. These niggas are still into Kemet. The fuck is a damn Kemet? The hell is Kemet gonna do for you when the day of the Lord come? A goddamn Kemet. What are you gonna do? You gonna climb up on a goddamn pyramid? You stupid nigga. You gonna climb up on top of the damn pyramid? When World War III is popping off? You stupid nigga. The hell is that gonna do for you? And if you wondering why I'm talking like this, let me get this. It's an oldie but goodie. I haven't brought it out in a while. This was one of my favorites. John 15, I started 16. It says, "You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you." See, you got to be chosen by the Lord. "You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and and ordained you that you should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit shall remain. That that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, may I give it to you." Right? And that's how we get to the Father through the Son. Right? It says, "These things I command you, that ye love one another." Right? What do we love? We love the men of the Lord. Right? The people that truly believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. Right? But it says here in the 18th verse, and this is where Christians, they don't like to hear this. It says, "If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you." All right? Because they love the John 3:16, but they don't go to this part. "If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love his own." Right? "But because ye are not of the world, but I've chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Right? Because like I said before, and I spoke on this before, I ran into this brother at the job. He was an Israelite. He had his fringes on, and everyone loved this nigga. Everyone, right? And it was a cool brother, but he had a worldly spirit. He was just a dude that knew that he was an Israelite. That's basically what he was, and he wore his fringes everywhere. You know, but he wasn't. You could tell in his spirit that he was of this world. He wasn't in that wanting to get the hell up out of here. If you're a man of the Lord and you want to get the hell up out of here, I'm just gonna put it like that, point blank. Um, he's not even in the prophecies. He was more about, kind of had that generational wealth spirit, which is nothing wrong with having money, and there's nothing wrong with, like I said, use the world but not abuse the world. But you're not going to be a man of the Lord and not get persecuted. There's no way in hell the whole world is gonna love you and you're a man of the Lord. No, that's bullshit. And you for damn sure not gonna love the world. There's no way in hell you can walk through here and your spirit isn't vexed by all the bullshit and the wickedness, right? Your heart is still of this world. Um, if you were of the world would love its own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, these are the words of Yahushua, if they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you, right? If they have kept my sayings, they will keep yours also. All right. So, matter of fact, I'll keep going. It says, but all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. So they're going to do the same things to us, man. They're going to persecute us, especially in that day, you know, coming down with all types of unrighteous decrees, um, making these new laws up, and they're making them up so they could persecute the men of the Lord, children of Israel as a whole, really. It says here, if I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin. But now they have no cloak for their sin. All right. Now you can't say that you weren't warned. You can't say you weren't warned. Damn near everyone has heard of the Israelites at this point, right? And you've been warned about this chip that's to come. You've been warned by us, and you've been warned by Esau, because the Edomite major news publications, they're putting it right out there for you, man. You have no cloak for your sin. He that hateth me hateth my Father also. All right, you see how that works? Okay. So, anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. You know, there's a lot that's happening right now, wars and rumors of wars, and Esau is pushing this chip like never before, and it's a beautiful thing to see. It's a scary thing to see. 'Cause don't get it twisted. We're gonna have to clutch onto the most high power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And that's why even now I'm a just a personal confession. Um, I'm looking myself in the mirror and I'm saying, you know, when that time come, am I going to be ready? I'm not just a hearer of the word. I actually consider, and I think to myself, because it's easy to just come up here and talk it. But I say to myself, when that time come and friends and family turn against me and they turn me in and say he didn't take the chip. Will I be ready? Well, part of getting ready is getting rid of this world. That's why I harp on it. If you notice in my podcast, especially lately, what I've been telling people the most is strip yourself of this world. Get rid of this world. Get the world out of your heart. You cannot bring the world with you. This old world, you cannot do it. This whole lie that you can be a man of the Lord and be friends with the world, that's bullshit. That's a lie. And it's just something that I noticed, something I've observed over the years is that a lot of these Israelite leaders in these camps, they're pushing a doctrine that you can love this world, and at the same time be a man of the Lord. You know, not with these times that are coming, you cannot. You're going to get persecuted on every front, financially, you know, your wife is going to turn your ass in. When they come down, just remember what it was like during the vax rollout. Just remember. Just remember the laws and the decrees that they were declaring, man. You can't go to work if you don't take the shot. You can't eat at a restaurant if you don't take the shot. If you can't do this, you can't do that. Just remember, man, they locked down New York City. Believe it was Mayor de Blasio. Anybody leaving out and coming in, they had it locked down for a minute during the pandemic. You had to prove you went this place and went that place, and this is how far you went. You people forget that fast, man. That was just during the pandemic. Imagine what it's going to be like when that chip is rolled out, man. And you heard me read the article where the powers that be are openly saying that they're looking for another way because the first way failed. So they're looking for another way to bring about international new world order. And they said that they may have to resort to bloodshed. That's something for you to think about. And with that, I'm going to say all praises due to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings to all you brothers, you sincere brothers that are out there standing firm in the faith. This is your brother Zakaria. Shalom.